She disappeared for the weekend and returned saying she married someone else in Vegas while drunk, but still loves me. I said, "That's serious." I called the police. She was arrested in our kitchen while her new husband called asking for bail. I'm 32, male, and sitting in my apartment right now, still trying to process everything that's happened over the past 48 hours. My hands are shaking as I type this, but I need to get it out somewhere. My girlfriend of 4 years left Thursday morning for what she said was a girls' weekend in Las Vegas, her best friend's 30th birthday. Big celebration, the usual. I dropped her off at the airport, kissed her goodbye, told her to have fun, completely normal stuff. Saturday afternoon, I was sitting at home watching football and eating leftover pizza when she walked through the door. Way too early, like a full day early. There was something off about her energy. Not happy, not sad, just strange. I greeted her cautiously. "Hey babe, you're back early. Everything okay?" She dropped her bag and just stood there, staring at me. Then she said it. "Something happened in Vegas, and I need to tell you before you find out another way." My stomach sank. Cheating. That had to be it. I muted the TV and braced myself. "Okay, I got married." I laughed out loud, genuinely thinking she was joking. Friday night. We were so drunk, and there was this guy I knew from college. We went to one of those chapels and I married him. But it doesn't mean anything. I was wasted. "I love you. You're the one I want to be with." I just stared at her, stunned. She married someone else while we were together, while we were literally talking about moving in together officially next month. "You married someone else," I said quietly. My voice was calm, almost eerie. "That's big. It's a mistake," she practically yelled. "A drunken mistake. It's not real." "We're not married," I said evenly. "You can't be married to two people. We're just dating," she shouted. "We've been together 4 years. We have a joint lease. You have a key to my apartment. We were literally looking at furniture together last month." Her voice broke. I know. And I'm so sorry, but I came back to you. That has to mean something." It was at that moment I stood up, walked to my bedroom and called 911. She followed me, frantic. "What are you doing?" she demanded. "Reporting a crime?" "Yes," the dispatcher answered. I explained, "Hi, my girlfriend of 4 years went to Vegas for the weekend and got married to another man. She's telling me it doesn't count because she was drunk, but as far as I know, we're still together. She lives here part-time, and I believe this constitutes bigamy." Her face went white as she grabbed for my phone. Hang up. "Sir, can you clarify the situation?" the dispatcher asked. I walked them through our lease, our texts about furniture shopping, and the Instagram posts of her holding a marriage certificate in Vegas. The officers arrived 20 minutes later. She was still frozen on the couch, staring at the wall. They asked her directly if she had married someone in Las Vegas that Friday. She nodded, crying. "And you're currently in a relationship with this gentleman?" "Yes," she said. "But we're not married." I showed the officers our joint lease and everything proving our committed relationship. She had been living here, sharing a life with me, planning our future. The female officer turned to me. "Sir, do you want to press charges?" "Yes." She panicked, trying to talk her way out. "I'll get it annulled today," she cried. Her phone rang, and she answered by accident on speaker. We all heard a man, her new husband, confessing he loved her and couldn't believe he married her. She hung up, crying harder. The officers read her rights, placed her in cuffs when she tried to run to the bathroom, and walked her out. I sat in my apartment, stunned, trying to process that my girlfriend of 4 years had just been arrested in my kitchen for marrying someone else. Texts from her best friend flooded in. "WTF happened?" She just called me crying saying you called the cops on her. I didn't respond. I just sat there, trying to comprehend what had unfolded. Over the next week, the chaos escalated. Her parents called nonstop, begging me to drop charges. They argued she made a mistake, that she was drunk, that it would ruin her life. I didn't care. She had committed a felony, and I wasn't letting that slide. The Vegas husband came to my door, panicked and confused. explaining he had no idea she was in a relationship with me. I told him everything. Her belongings, our lease, our plans, the reality of her life with me. He started to grasp the situation, realized he'd been played, and began coordinating to get the marriage annulled. Monday morning, I gave my statement at the police station. Evidence in hand, I showed the detective everything. Lease agreements, photos, texts, statements from friends and family. The detective was almost amused. This was apparently one of the strangest cases they'd seen in years. Her Vegas husband and I later met for coffee, bonding over how completely duped we had both been. Her hearing went exactly as expected. The annulment was granted immediately due to fraud, deception, and bigamy. She received probation, community service, and a fine, but no jail time. She had lost her job, faced public humiliation, and had been forced to confront the consequences of her choices. In the weeks after, her family continued to harass me. Her best friend tried to justify her actions. I blocked them all. I moved out of our apartment, started therapy to process the trauma, and slowly began rebuilding my life. The Vegas husband and I stayed in touch, occasional messages about how insane the situation had been. My parents and friends supported me unwaveringly. I got closure by knowing I upheld the law and my own boundaries, refusing to tolerate such a level of disrespect again. Now, months later, it's finally over. She has a criminal record, I have my life back, and the lesson is clear. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. She made choices, I enforced boundaries, and the consequences were hers to face. Life is moving on, and I'm moving with it, stronger, wiser, and far more cautious about who I trust. The week after the arrest was pure chaos. Her parents finally scraped together enough money to bail her out on Wednesday. Thursday morning, she showed up at my apartment with her dad in tow. I watched from my security camera as she tried to use her key. It didn't work because I had changed the locks on Tuesday. Her dad started yelling, demanding entry to get her belongings. I calmly responded from inside. She could schedule a pickup with a police escort. Otherwise, the answer was no. More shouting, threats about lawyers, nothing fazed me. They eventually left, but my phone immediately blew up. Her mom, aunts, cousins, all screaming, accusing me of being controlling, vindictive, and manipulating the legal system. According to them, her bigamy was now just a moment of freedom, and I was the villain for holding her accountable. I didn't respond. I let it ring and sat down, absorbing the absurdity of it all. Then things got even stranger. On Friday, I received a Facebook message from her Vegas husband. Let's call him Vegas for simplicity. He sent screenshots proving that she had been messaging him for months before the Vegas trip. It wasn't casual conversation. It was full-blown emotional manipulation, planning how to leave me while maintaining her stability with me as a safety net. In one message from September, she explicitly discussed breaking up with me without losing the apartment. Everything about her Vegas mistake was calculated. Vegas was furious but cooperative. He wanted to annul the marriage, and I promised to submit evidence on his behalf. The more I learned, the clearer it became. She had been planning to string us both along for months, presenting the drunken Vegas wedding as a spontaneous blunder. The annulment hearing was surreal. Her public defender tried to argue she was emotionally compromised and that the Vegas marriage was an escape attempt from my supposed controlling behavior. I had hired a lawyer by this point and came prepared with receipts, texts, photos, and statements from friends and family proving the truth. I had never controlled her. Finances were separate, and our relationship was healthy. Messages between her and Vegas showed that she had intentionally misled both of us. The judge didn't buy the defense. The annulment was granted within minutes, citing fraud and deception, and the bigamy charges were upheld. Her lawyer tried to plead emotional duress, but the evidence from Vegas was irrefutable. Meanwhile, her family's obsession with me intensified. Her mom called repeatedly, crying, begging me to drop charges. Her dad called angrily, threatening me over the phone.
He stayed firm.
She wasn't just making a mistake. She had committed a felony, and she needed to face the consequences. Her parents were frustrated, embarrassed, and angry that I refused to forgive her, But I knew that what she did went beyond normal relationship drama. It was criminal, manipulative, and deliberate. The preliminary criminal hearing was even more surreal. Her defense team pushed the coercive control narrative, claiming she married Vegas as a desperate attempt to escape an abusive relationship with me. I sat there silently, listening as they painted me as controlling, isolating, and financially abusive. My lawyer presented a mountain of evidence proving the opposite. Our social media posts, text conversations, bank records, witness statements, all of which directly contradicted the defense's claims. Vegas testified, confirming that she had lied to him about being single and that he had no idea she was in a relationship with me. The judge looked exhausted, probably wondering how someone could manufacture this level of chaos. Outside the courthouse, Vegas and I grabbed coffee, bonding over how thoroughly she had deceived both of us. We discussed how she had spun narratives to both families, manipulated our emotions, and orchestrated the Vegas wedding to suit her own agenda. We laughed bitterly about the absurdity of it all, but also shared a sense of justice served. Her parents were furious, claiming I had ruined her life, but I reminded them that she was responsible for her choices. She had committed crimes while expecting no consequences. She got exactly what she deserved. 2 months later, the trial finally concluded. She was convicted of third-degree bigamy. The judge sentenced her to 2 years probation, 200 hours of community service, and a $5,000 fine. No jail time, since it was her first offense and her lawyer argued the public humiliation and job loss were punishment enough. She had lost her job when her employer discovered the situation. Her parents were in court, her mom crying, her dad glaring at me, but I remained calm. Outside, her best friend tried to confront me, screaming that I had destroyed her life. I reminded her that the destruction came from choices my ex made. Marrying someone else while in a committed relationship and lying to both men for months. Vegas and I stayed in touch sporadically, sharing updates, joking darkly about the insane circumstances, and occasionally discussing legalities and reimbursements for the Vegas wedding expenses. My parents were supportive, my friends were in awe, and slowly, life began returning to normal. I moved out of the old apartment, started therapy, and focused on rebuilding my emotional stability. Trust was shattered, but boundaries had been reinforced. I learned the hard way what it meant to truly enforce consequences. In the end, I realized this entire ordeal had taught me a crucial lesson. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. She revealed that she was capable of lying, manipulating, and breaking the law without remorse. No amount of crying or apologizing could erase that. I upheld my boundaries, and justice was served. She has her criminal record, Vegas has clarity, her parents are frustrated, and I have my life back. It's over now, finally, and I'm left with the knowledge that I did the right thing, even when it was messy, painful, and surreal. After the trial, life started to settle, but in a new, quieter rhythm. I moved into a smaller apartment across town, month to month, far away from the memories of that 4-year relationship. Therapy became a part of my routine because, honestly, surviving something this bizarre messes with your head. My therapist asked if I regretted calling the cops. I didn't, not even for a second. Maybe that makes me seem cold, but every time I replay her words, I married someone else, but I love you, I remember that she tried to have it all. The security of our relationship and the thrill of a Vegas fling. She wasn't confused or making a drunken mistake. She made a choice, and I made the choice to enforce boundaries. Her parents, naturally, were still upset. They sent me a bill for her legal fees. $8,000, handwritten and formal. I sent it back with LOL, no scribbled across it. The apartment complex released me from the joint lease early after seeing the court documents. She moved back in with her parents, working retail to pay fines and restitution. Occasionally, I'd run into a family member, cousins, aunts, they'd see me and immediately avoid eye contact. Fine. Let them. Vegas, surprisingly, became a kind of strange ally. We would check in about the legal fallout, joke about the absurdity, and commiserate over how we both got played. He got some restitution for the wedding expenses, I got closure. My parents were supportive, sending care packages and encouraging notes. Friends marveled at the story, joking it sounded like a reality TV show. And in truth, it was a complete, unfiltered, insane reality. Dating again has been tentative. I've gone on a few apps, a few dates, but trust issues linger. Every mention of an ex or a friend triggers paranoia, which I'm working through in therapy. But the most important takeaway is clear. When someone shows you who they are, believe them immediately. She demonstrated that she was capable of deception, manipulation, and breaking the law without remorse. Actions have consequences, and crying about them doesn't erase reality. Now, I'm focusing on rebuilding my life. Quiet routines, good friends, football on weekends, therapy, and boundaries that actually protect me. The Vegas wedding, the bigamy, the arrests, the hearings, it's all over, but the lessons are permanent. I don't hate her. I don't seek revenge. I just exist in a space where I won't tolerate that level of disrespect again. And honestly, that feels good. Peace has returned in small, steady increments. Life's absurd, messy, and unpredictable. But sometimes the chaos teaches you exactly what you need to know about yourself and about everyone around you. I survived being lied to, betrayed, and manipulated on an unimaginable scale. I upheld my boundaries, stood my ground, and kept my integrity intact. That's my victory. So, for anyone reading this who has gone through something similar, trust your instincts. Boundaries aren't cruelty, they're survival. And sometimes, letting the law, the courts, and reality handle consequences is the most powerful response you can give. Peace out. Life goes on, and so do I.